Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm super excited because I just got inspiration for a new project that I wanted to vlog. So it's been so hot where I live and I was thinking I'm gonna go to the beach a ton and I want to have some extra crochet cover-ups to wear while I'm at the beach. So today we're just gonna be making a super basic mesh crochet beach cover-up, but it's gonna be super awesome because this one's kind of gonna be like poncho vibes, where some of the other stuff I've made as cover-ups is more like long sleeved, or it's like just a tank top, or like basically I've just never made anything exactly like this. But I think it's gonna be pretty simple because I'm just planning on doing 2 simple panels of those mesh stitches and then stitching them together. So it should turn out pretty well. Should be super simple, but we do need to choose our yarn and our hook and all that stuff. So I'm gonna bring that stuff over so that I can show you what I'm thinking. I just turned my light on, so the lighting's probably different. I have a few things of yarn. I got these in my Crocheting My Way Through the New Year January crochet vlog, and while I technically could choose this one, I just want to be sure I have enough yarn, so I'm gonna go for these ones since I have 2 of them, and they're loops and threads, soft classic, weight for acrylic yarn in the color clay ombre. And like I said, I have 2 of them, and then I'm going between my 5mm hook and my 5.25mm hook just because I want this to be like a very loose slouchy top. So I don't want to do a smaller hook because if I do that, it's going to be like very exact tight stitches that aren't going to give that like slouchy beach vibe. So I'm probably going to go for my 5.25 just because I feel like I've used this for some other projects with mesh stitches where I wanted them to be looser and I really liked how it looked. So what I think I'm going to do is do a row of foundation single crochets, but like the way that I only do them for cups normally, because I want this row to be like super tiny, but I don't want to have to crochet into chains. So I'm just gonna like work my way around that, and then I'm gonna start working into them. I haven't decided yet if I'm gonna do double crochets, treble crochets, or double treble crochets yet. I kind of think it depends on how this specific yarn works up with this hook size, just because I do want there to be like mesh gaps, but I don't want it to be like so big of gaps that it doesn't even feel like it's like a cover up, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's what I'm thinking, and yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so I have this super duper long chain, well, not chain, row of foundation single crochets that's just gonna go like basically from one shoulder here all the way across to the other shoulder, and then that's how I'm gonna do my treble crochets into them, because I do think I'm gonna do treble crochets. And I guess the one thing though is like I technically could switch it up, but I do want it to be kind of uniform though for this type of top. But yeah, this is really long. I can't even like get it all in frame obviously, but yeah, we're just gonna start working into them. And yeah, I'm gonna have to stop and eat dinner pretty soon because it's already almost 8 and I haven't eaten, so I need to hurry up and get some food. But yeah, I'm really hoping I'm gonna finish this tonight, but if I don't finish it tonight, I'll finish it tomorrow. But yeah, I'm already excited, and I'm excited how the color's looking. Like, I don't know if you can tell. Yeah, you can, like the color like shifts with this yarn, and it's gonna get like really light at one point too. I feel like that's gonna be really cute, but I'm excited. I don't normally go for pinks, but I feel like this is such like a toned down version of it, and then it like fades into like a muted orange, so I like it so far. But yeah, I'm gonna do this treble crochet row, and then I will get some food and I'll get back to you with an update. Progress update. I'm 8 rows in and I'm kind of obsessed. Like literally the way that the colors are looking too is so cute. But let me show you what it's gonna look like a little bit, because I can kind of hold it up to myself and make it look similar to how it'll look. So obviously this isn't exactly how it's gonna look because I can't get it to like stay properly, but I'm gonna do it where I have it attached here and like the seam is like right here, attaching it to the other panel so that like it's kind of just all loose in the front, because I don't even want there to be like set sleeves either. But like even though my tripod's so far away, like it literally just looks so cute seeing the colors of it, and I don't know, I'm kind of obsessed. I think I'm gonna do like, we'll definitely have to do at least a few more rows because right now it's like really cropped and I want it to be like a normal length. But I think either way I'm gonna finish those rows tonight and then come back tomorrow to finish the second panel, just because I'm really tired. I don't think I'm gonna be able to finish a whole other panel tonight, but I will definitely finish this one so that tomorrow I can just like finish up, and then I'll show you like how I'm stitching it together, and then we'll be done. Which like this is probably the easiest thing I've made, I guess, recently, or like honestly it's on the same level as like easiest things I've made ever, especially compared to the last project I made, because it was like such complicated stitches. It was very different from anything I've ever done before, and I was having to like come up with a pattern out of my brain, and I had no like references to be like, am I doing this right? So this is kind of a nice breath of fresh air to be able to be like, I know what I'm doing and it's simple. But the only thing is I'm like, technically I've never made a poncho before, so what if like I stitch it together and it looks stupid because I'm doing like no set sleeves? But if it does, then I'll add like a little seam probably like here to be able to be like, that's where I want it to separate. But I'm really hoping that doesn't have to happen because it would be nice if it could just be like loosey-goosey, I guess. And I also technically I'm gonna make it like reversible. It's the quote unquote because like it's just gonna be slightly different from the front and the back based on like where the colors are changing, but it's gonna be like the same stitch and everything, so it's like not really that big of a difference, but it is kind of reversible. So like the front and the back are gonna be slightly different and they can be worn either way. But anyway, I'm gonna finish up this front panel and go to bed, and I will see you tomorrow for the second panel, stitching it together and then like trying it on, because we're gonna be done like super soon, honestly. So good night. I hope you love my like super crazy bun that I have going on here. I was a little bit too lazy to take it out, and so that's what I'm gonna be in for like half this video. Okay, it's another day and I'm back with a little bit of an update. Not too much though. First, I finished my first panel, so it's a little bit hard to see, but I have the whole thing done. And then I started my second panel this morning, but I'm only technically 2 rows in, so not that much progress on the second one, but I just have to finish up the second one and then I can move on and start stitching them together. So we're already like almost done, honestly, and I definitely am sure that I'm gonna finish this today because it's so simple. But I will have to change to my other thing of yarn at some point because we're gonna run out soon, obviously, but hopefully it'll be able to transition not looking too crazy, because I do feel like it is a pretty seamless transition between the colors in this panel where like the yarn is all connected. But I'm just hoping that it'll be like that, even though I'm having to tie yarn together, but I guess we will see. So I think I'm just gonna get crocheting and work on this, and then I'll show a little bit of that, and then I'll just come back when I'm ready to stitch it together. We'll do that together and then we'll be done. So I'm super excited because this is turning out so cute, and it's still very hot here, so I'm definitely gonna be able to use it. Okay, I just finished the second panel, so now I have both panels here. It's a little bit hard to see, but I have both of them done. I still have my hook in because I figured I can attach to them without having to remove my yarn, but I will just have to calculate how big I want like the neck hole to be, because I don't want this to be like an off the shoulder poncho because it's already so like slouchy that I feel like if I do that it's just gonna like mess it up, honestly. But I do just have to like calculate kind of like how wide so that it isn't off the shoulder, but so it's big enough that my head can fit through it, because I have learned with my different projects that you do definitely have to make the head for your hole big enough when you're making like sweater vests and stuff like this where you're like stitching it closed to make the hole for your head, because otherwise you're not gonna be able to fit through it. So I might just kind of try and have the mic like this so that you can hear me, but it's kind of gonna suck because I'm gonna be trying to crochet too at the same time, but I don't really know what else I can do with it because I need both my hands, but we'll try and make it work. So I'm just gonna lay both of them flat on top of each other so I can like kind of measure it out. Okay, I think I'm going to like hold it up to myself and see how wide it would need to be to fit like kind of like from here to here, and then I'll like have to center that. So I might grab some stitch markers because I'm not gonna be able to remember that very easily, but we're gonna mark where those spots are so we can stitch it closed, and then we will be done because I have a feeling I'm not gonna weave my ends with this top because I don't care enough to, and there's only a few ends anyway, so I feel like with this style of top it's really not gonna make that much of a difference. So let me go grab some stitch markers. Okay, I got 2 stitch markers, and now I'm gonna like hold this up to myself and kind of try and see. I feel like that's probably a good width, so let me count that. That would be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 treble crochets. I'm honestly gonna like hold it there and try and like get it over my head just to double confirm, because this is a little bit different from the other tops that I've stitched closed, so I want to make sure it actually will work. Okay, yeah, that will definitely work. So I'm going to find the center 14 stitches, I think. Yeah, so I think I have to count the total number and then subtract 14 from that, and then divide that number by 2 to find how I get there, I think. I'm not entirely sure, clearly, but the only thing is I do have 2 stitches at the end of each row, so I think I will just count it as 1. Okay, so I just got 52, so I'm gonna do 52 minus 14 divided by 2. So I go 19 stitches over. Let's see if that looks right. Yeah, that's like pretty much where I think it would be. So I'm gonna put a stitch marker in. So basically from here out, I'll be stitching it closed, but the center will be open. So then I'm gonna go on the other panel. Oh wait, I guess I should attach it through both panels. So let me count it on the other one too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then there we go. I'm just putting it here so that both panels are like in the same stitch marker. And then I'm gonna do the other side. And I'm just gonna hold this spot so I can count on the back panel. And then I'm gonna do the same thing, putting the stitch marker through both of them. Okay, then I'm gonna start from this corner to start stitching it together because that's where my yarn is attached right now, and then I'll just go up to that stitch marker and stop, tie off my yarn, and then go to the other side. And I think I'm just gonna do slip stitches through both of them. So first I just have to do that to fix it, and then I'm gonna go in my like outside loops, because when I do it like that, then I like the seam of it better because it's like less of a seam, to be honest. But yeah, I do think it can get a little bit hard to make sure that you're like going through both loops correctly and like lining it up. So I do like to take it a little bit slow just in case. But the only thing is, since there's 19 treble crochets, that means there's 38 stitches. So I'm gonna go carefully but not that slow because I don't need this to take forever. Oh wait, I'm literally doing single crochets on accident, but that's fine because I'm just doing single crochets for this. We're slowly approaching my stitch marker, and then when I get there, I'm gonna trust that this is gonna fit, because like I was able to like kind of get it over my head when I was like holding it there, because sometimes if I'm not sure, I'll just like leave a little extra yarn and cut it off with that extra room just in case. But okay, I can take my stitch marker out. Okay, and then going into my last one, except I always do a slip stitch after, so technically not my last one. And then I'm gonna cut it off, and there we go. And then we're gonna go to the other side. And then for this one, because I don't have my yarn already attached, I'm just gonna like tie it on the edge through both panels. Okay, And then I'm just gonna do the same thing with this one, doing those single crochets all the way down up to my stitch marker in my outside loops. Right, coming up to my last one on this side, and then we're gonna be done. Hopefully this fits over my head. I feel like it will, because I like basically made it do it while holding it, but if it doesn't, that's gonna be kind of embarrassing to have to undo it after I've been like, oh yeah, it's totally gonna work. There we go. And I will say the only thing about this yarn is I do have like quite a bit of scraps from having to do magic knots. One of the magic knots was just me transitioning to the other thing of yarn. The second one was because like there was like a factory knot and like it just like came apart so easily, and I was like, I'm not risking that, so I undid it and did a magic knot. And then the other one was because there was this thing of yarn and that color is not in this thing of yarn. It was just stuck on there from something, so obviously I did not want to risk it when I don't know what that is, but that's okay. Anyway, let's go try this on. Like I said, I'm probably not going to weave in my ends, but the only thing I will do is turn it inside out so the seam is like on the inside like it would be, and then it looks nice and flat like so, instead of having like the single crochet sticking out of it like on the inside. But yeah, we're all done. This is looking so cute. The only change I might make is going like one stitch further, because it is a little bit off the shoulder, like kind of like I wanted it to be like here. And then I might like close the little sleeve-esque things by just literally putting one stitch in the corner, or maybe honestly just like tying it right there just so that it is like a tiny bit more of like a sleeve. But this is so cute, and like again, I didn't use any pattern. Like I literally was just like barely paying attention while making this, and I did it in like, it hasn't even been 24 hours. So I'm saying that I made this in one day, because I did technically, you know, it's only been less than a day. But I do think I want it a little bit closer, just like I don't want it to do off the shoulder, you know, like I already have a lot of off the shoulder stuff. I want it to stay up here like this. So I'm thinking I'm gonna make those changes and then I'll show you what I have as my final result. I just closed up the little spots right here, and I made the top part a little bit smaller, like literally 2 stitches over on both sides, and it's perfect. Like I'm actually obsessed, and I can't believe how easy it was to make. Like literally, I'm making a million of these, and especially with this yarn, it looks so cute with like the colors changing, but I also think it would look great with one color. I also really like that like you don't even notice that it's literally just one big rectangle, and like the only spots closed are like the corners and the sleeves, or like the shoulders, and otherwise it's literally just completely open. But I think it looks really cute. Like I can't even turn around. My arm doesn't stretch like that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm obsessed, and I'm so happy I made this. Like, it was like a spur of the moment decision, but I'm so happy. It's really cute. Okay, we are all done. This is kind of like the worst lighting because I have my overhead on behind me, but I'm so happy. I hope you guys love how it looked based on my recording in the bathroom, because that's actually seeing the whole thing. Right now you can literally see like an inch of it, but I don't know, I'm so happy. Like I love when projects are super easy and turn out perfectly and I don't have to undo anything. Like literally, I'm obsessed. And honestly, I made a couple of mistakes in there where I just like forgot to chain in between my treble crochets, and I can't even find those spots anymore. Like if I looked like really hard, like I could actually find them, but I feel like when you just look at the whole thing, like, you know, you're not going to notice any mistakes because it literally looks fine, you know. And obviously I can try it on backwards as well. I'm just too lazy to do that right now, but I'm so happy and I'm so excited. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to check out my other crochet vlogs because I do have a decent amount of them now, and check out my crochet depot for stuff that I'm selling. And otherwise, yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Okay, it's totally falling off.